Hi everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon trading card game match. Today we have Wyatt on your left and Griffin on your right, and they are playing very interesting decks. But first of all, I will point out that this weekend that this video is going live is the United States Nationals Championship. So that means that the best players and the best decks in the whole country are coming together right now in Indianapolis. Actually, that's where I am right now. Of course, I'm recording this ahead of time, the commentary for this. And they might just be playing these decks that you see. Wyatt, once again on your left, is playing a FairyToad deck that runs a Fairy and Malamar EX variant, and Fairy is to help transfer Fairy energy around, of course, and then Malamar EX has an ability called Hyper Hypnosis. Whenever you attach an energy from your hand to Malamar EX, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Malamar doesn't need to be on the bench, you don't need to flip a coin, nothing. Just attach the energy and your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep. That can be pretty good, especially since you can just transfer that off with Aromatisse's Fairy Transfer ability immediately afterwards. Griffin is playing, well, it's kind of an interesting deck. It's some sort of new dragon deck. He does play Mega Rayquaza EX, but it's not the colorless one like a lot of people play. It's the dragon one with the Delta Wild Ancient trait. Any damage done to the Mega Rayquaza by attacks from the opponent's Grass, Fire, Water, or Electric Pokemon is reduced by 20, and with the Dragon Ascent attack, it takes 5 energy, but it deals 300 damage, and you discard 2 energy from that. 300 energy will knock out anything, guys, so people are definitely trying to make this work, and, well, we'll see how well Griffin can make it happen. Okay, it looks like Griffin did mulligan, which means that Wyatt gets an extra card, and the rule is you have to put dice on your deck now to account for the times that your opponent mulligans. And we see, it looks like Griffin started with, I'm going to take a bet and say it was the Hydreigon EX. And the Hydreigon EX has an ability, Dragon Road. If there is a Stadium card in play, the retreat cost of each of your Dragon Pokemon is 2 colorless less. So considering things like Mega Rayquaza, and yes, that was the Hydreigon that Griffin started out with, and he gets to go first. Mega Rayquaza has a 2 retreat cost, but it's a Dragon type. Hydreigon's ability, once again, that is Dragon Road. I have all these cards up on the internet so I can quickly reference them. These are cards that we haven't really seen too much of, so yeah, and since Roaring Skies in essence just came out, just started seeing play, then, well, it's kind of hard to keep track of everything. But yeah, if there's a Stadium in play, each Dragon-type Pokemon, including Hydreigon itself, which normally has a 3 colorless retreat, is reduced by 2, which means Hydreigon's down to just 1. And we do see the N come down from Wyatt, and, I'm sorry, from Griffin, and Wyatt is just so upset because he had 3 Aromatisse in his hand. Either he's upset or he's glad because that's 3 cards you really don't want in your hand, especially on your starting turn when you just can't evolve. I mean, we do have Wally now, but that might not be the supporter that he wants to play. We do see a Shaman EX in Wyatt's hand now, and a Spritzy. And I believe this match was recorded after Lysander's trump card was banned. So we see the Trainer's Mail from Griffin. What trainer card is he going to get out of that? He's going to get a Colress. He, of course, cannot play that since he just played the N during his turn. Oh man, I'm already thinking forward to the new format where we're going to lose N and Colress in so many cards. I'm just thinking of how people will adapt to it. It'll be fun, but it'll be a very difficult format, I think. But for now, we still have all these amazing cards. We still have N, we still have Colress, we still have so many things. We see the double Dragon energy come down. Hydreigon also has a Shred attack. For 3 energy, a Psychic, a Dark, and a Colorless. It deals 80 damage, just period. The attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So, like, Hard Charm won't reduce the damage, nothing like that. And we do see the N go down. So, yeah, looks like Wyatt got to exchange the end of his own, make sure that Griffin doesn't have access to that Colress. Not that losing Colress is that big of a deal. There's only 2 bench Pokemon in play right now. So yeah, Those two bench Pokemon are the Spritzy and the Shaman EX from Wyatt. We see him draw into a Seismitoad and a Malamar and another Spritzy. We'll see what happens out of that. It looks like Griffin pulled the Rayquaza EX, and that is the Dragon-type Rayquaza EX as well, not the colorless one. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Now the the Dragon-type Rayquaza, come on, it's up here somewhere, right? Yes, the Dragon-type Rayquaza EX has the Dragon Claw attack for 2 does 30, and then Dragon Strike for 4 does 130. I'm assuming he only plays it for the free retreat that Hydreigon offers, because the colorless Rayquaza is a much better alternative. In any case, it looks like Wyatt did get his Quaking Punch off, which means that Griffin cannot play items. He's just going to play another N. We have the Scorched Earth as the stadium. During each player's turn, they can discard a fire or a fighting energy from their hand and then draw 2 cards. Interesting stadium choice on Griffin's end. I guess it's just because Rayquaza requires fire energy. So maybe every once in a while he can discard an energy instead of play it down so he can get more cards. Well, it looks like Wyatt just drew 2 double colorless energy. Kind of interesting since he already has 1 in play on that active Seismitoad EX. And, well, if Griffin... he put down the Rayquaza Spirit Link, and Wyatt's telling him he couldn't do that because of the whole Quaking Punch thing. Shutting off items is kind of a big deal. I wonder how many people are going to be misplaying at Nationals this very weekend just because Quaking Punch is in play and they start putting down items. Luckily, a lot of people are very careful about remembering that, but it looks like Griffin did not get the energy required to use his Shred attack, which would have been really nice, and Wyatt gets his Fairy Garden into play. Now he can give free retreat to anything with a Fairy energy on it. He also gets to evolve into Aromatisse. He's set to... Basically, his deck is all set up now. He's going to bench another Seismitoad EX, he can put a DCE on it, and he does. And he's going to Quaking Punch again. That Hydreigon now has 100 damage on it. Only has 180 altogether. Well, we'll see what Griffin can do. He might come back from this, but we'll just have to see if he can. There's the Scorched Earth again. Almost discarded the Scorched Earth instead of the Fairy Garden. Then we see the Colress. And Colress will get him 6. That's not a bad Colress at all. In this day and age where Colress could get you as much as 16... But we're used to seeing Colress anywhere between 3 and 10, and 6 is a pretty good number to get new cards, and we're just going to see what he gets off that. If he gets an energy, he could Shred, but I think his best bet right now is to maybe Mega Evolve, because he needs to start dealing tons of damage soon. The problem with Mega Rayquaza, the Dragon-type one, is it requires 5 energy. Yeah, we're just going to see the attachment to Hydreigon. Now it can use Shred, and it'll deal 80. If he had a Muscle Band, it would deal more, but there's no way for him to put one down even if he did have one. He's going to bench a Shaman EX, a beautiful full art, and get 2 cards out of that, thanks to Shaman EX's setup ability, and we're going to see the Shred for 80. And Wyatt opts to use his own dice. No reason not to. Wyatt is going to play a Colress of his own, so this is just a game of just exchanging supporters. And we will see this Colress get him 7, actually, because of the Shaman that was put down. We see so many cards going into his hand. I saw a Mewtwo EX there. That might come into play at some point, especially against a fully powered-up Rayquaza. We see him bench the Mewtwo. I saw him attach the Fairy Energy to the Malamar. Oh, there you go. He's signaling that now the Hydreigon is asleep thanks to Malamar's, what was it? Powerful, Hyper Hypnosis ability. And we're going to see the Flip for Sleep, and he's awake, but he only has 30 HP left because of that Quaking Punch. Even if we were to somehow get rid of the Muscle Band with, say, a Zoroark, of all things, then, even then, he would still get knocked out. We see the Dragon Energy, Double Dragon Energy, go on to Rayquaza EX. And Hydreigon's ability does not stack, I don't think. Maybe it does? Maybe it does. Actually, I don't see why it wouldn't. It says if there's any stadium card in play, the retreat cost of each of your dragon Pokemon is 2 less. It doesn't say anything about limiting that, so I mean that's the whole way that Altaria with Fight Song works, so I guess this Hydreigon has free retreat. You can retreat into the Rayquaza and use maybe the Dragon Claw for 30. It wouldn't do much, but it would be something. The problem is, he really needs to Mega Evolve sometime soon, and he does play down the Scorched Earth, getting rid of the Fairy Garden. It's very possible that that was Wyatt's last Fairy Garden on top of that. We see the discard of the energy for Scorched Earth, saw a Juniper and another Fire Energy out of that, and he's just going to opt to Shred. He's going to just say, you know what, damage is more important right now. And once Rayquaza Mega Evolves, it's really in no danger from being knocked out by a simple Quaking Punch. We do see the Hyper Hypnosis again. And remember that Aromatisse allows Wyatt to transfer this Fairy Energy off whenever he wants, but he's just going to opt to all-out Quaking Punch. And let's see. We do see the promotion of the Reshiram. I forget what Reshiram's ability is. It's something very, very good. I'm going to look it up real quick. I'm sorry if the keyboard is a little loud, but anyway, I need to look and see what's going on at the same time. We see the colorless Rayquaza go down and the energy go onto it. Excellent. Anyway, the Reshiram from Roaring Skies. And we see the Colress again from Griffin's side. Okay, Turbo Blaze. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may attach a fire energy from your hand to one of your Dragon-type Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was something that helped Dragon-type decks. So that fire energy attachment from hand, from Griffin, onto the Rayquaza, well, that counted for his turn, actually, because that's not a Dragon-type Pokemon. But he can also attach a fire energy from his hand onto one of those, either the Rayquaza, that's the Dragon-type Pokemon, or the Hydreigon, if he wants, because of Reshiram's Turbo Blaze ability. And he does have the fire energy. Now the question is he going to put it on the Rayquaza, or... if I were him, that's what I would do, to be frank. Then he can retreat the Reshiram because it has a 2 retreat cost. So the Hydreigon gives it free retreat. We're going to see this discard actually from Scorched Earth. Quite interesting. So we're going to see... we will see the retreat into the Rayquaza colorless. Nice. And then we see... oh, man, this is stupid. I know what that Rayquaza is. Or yeah, the Rayquaza. This is going to bug me now. I've got to look this one up too. But anyway, we do see the Hyper Hypnosis again, and then we see the Fairy transfer to the Mewtwo EX. That Mewtwo EX is dealing a lot of damage. Intensifying Burn. Intensifying Burn deals 10, but if the opponent is an EX, then it deals another 50. So in essence, it did 60, which was enough to knock out the Seismitoad. I knew it was something like that. Now here's something interesting. Griffin now has access to all of his items now because there was no Quaking Punch last turn. The only Seismitoad EX is on the bench, so we do see the Spirit Link go on to the bench Rayquaza. We see Ultra Ball, which can get him anything. It could get him another... it can get him another Shaman, but yeah, he goes for the Mega Rayquaza. Oh man, and what's even better is that Mega Rayquaza's Delta Wild Ancient Trait actually reduces Seismitoad's attacks by 20, so normally it would only do 10 damage at a time, not anywhere close to enough to knocking it out. We do have one slight problem in that regular Rayquaza that's active is still asleep. We do see the Mega Turbo, the double Mega Turbo, onto that bench Mega Rayquaza. All it needs is one more energy now, and it is ready to go, which is really, really awesome. I mean, this is the power of all the cards that came out in Roaring Skies. Double Dragon Energy, Mega Turbo, all sorts of things, just helping to power up decks like this that would otherwise you'd look at first glance and say, yeah, that's not worth even trying to make work. So we're just going to see Griffin pass, and he did flip heads on the sleep, so he's no longer asleep, but he wasn't able to deal any damage. So now it's up to Wyatt. I don't know. Wait, why did he... I don't know. Somehow... I don't know what happened, but somehow he woke up and it's still his turn. We're going to see the computer search, and he's going to get a fire energy out of that. And he is going to play Switch. Okay. So he promotes the Reshiram, which has free retreat. We see the Turbo Blaze onto the Mega Rayquaza, and there we go, just like that. A regular Rayquaza with a double Dragon Energy, all in one turn. Mega evolved, and got fully powered up enough to use its powerful Dragon Ascent attack. Ladies and gentlemen, 300 damage to that poor Mewtwo. I think they're trying to work through exactly what happened there, but it is a knockout. Okay, even if he wasn't able to wake up at that turn, he had the switch, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So now Wyatt is down several prizes. I don't know if he's taken... He's only taken 2, so he has 4 left. Griffin has 2, so we're going to see the Pokemon Fan Club, actually. We'll see what he gets off of this. The thing with that Mega Rayquaza is it has 230 HP, so even a Mewtwo that's like fully powered up, that would be a lot to ask to knock this thing out. And he would need to get it all powered up this turn, and there's just no way for him to. At this point, this Mega Rayquaza... if Griffin has another double Dragon Energy, he wins, because it'll knock out everything. Unless somehow maybe Wyatt promotes his Aromatisse as a sacrifice to buy himself more time, but that's just a whole desperate act of a desperate man. So the fan club seems to actually be failing. Does Wyatt seriously not have any basic Pokemon left in his deck? It does not appear so. Maybe he's just looking... Oh, wait, he does have the Seismitoad. We see one Seismitoad left in his deck. Is that it? That might be it. That's it. Oh, 2 Seismitoads. My mistake. Oh, man, he doesn't have anything else besides those. And even then, he's going to just pick them back up to look through his deck one more time. Oh, man. At this point, I'd have to say that Griffin probably has the game. He just got set up. I mean, it took a little while. It did take a little while, but he did get set up, and now that he is set up, there's virtually no stopping him. Mega Rayquaza has 230 HP. That's going to take a lot to knock out. It has that Delta Wild Ancient trait, which means that the Seismitoad, even with the Muzzle Band, is only doing 30 at a time. We do see the Hyper Hypnosis from Malamar, which may slow it down. Did they put the 50 on it? Yeah, they put the 50 on it. That's weird. Maybe they forgot about the Delta Wild Ancient trait, but just know that Delta Wild makes it so that Seismitoad does less to Mega Rayquaza, and that Rayquaza is still asleep. So, yeah, and once again the item lock is back up. So Griffin almost attached the Rayquaza Spirit Link there, was reminded they can't do that. Item lock, Quaking Punch, really, really big pain in the butt. Yeah, so... here's the thing. He doesn't have any more switches in his hand, and even if he did, he couldn't play it. He does have the escape rope, which would have been really nice, but he can't play it. No items whatsoever. He can use Scorched Earth if he wants. Or has he done it already? I don't know. So, but here's my point, is he is in no danger of being knocked out anytime soon with this Mega Rayquaza. And he's just going to use that Lysander, bring up a Shaman EX. Shaman EX has a retreat cost. And we see the flip heads for sleep. I mean, if Wyatt wants, he can maybe fairy transfer some energy up to the Shaman and use Sky Return to deal some damage, but then he wouldn't have the item lock up, and basically, okay, we see the Seismitoad and Muscle Band go down, and then the Colress. Colress here for, unless my count is wrong, 9, which is on the upper end of a typical Colress without Skyfield in play. Yeah, I guess he VS Secret for the Colress is what happened. The Shaman does have a retreat cost, and the Fairy Gardens are all gone, so... But the Fairy Transfer is still there, like I said. He's going to attach to Malamar, Hyper-Hypnosis. Maybe he can sleep stall this Rayquaza. He's going to, yeah, he's just going to Fairy Transfer up to the Shaman. It did have a 2 retreat cost. And then we're going to see the Quaking Punch. They're putting it up to 100, but remember, guys, Delta Wild reduces it by 20 each time. So I guess they just forgot about it. It's an easy thing to forget. We see the Flip for Sleep and the Wake Up and the Dragon Ascent for Knockout against the Seismitoad EX. So Wyatt takes the game with this very clever Mega Rayquaza Hydreigon, just all-out Dragon deck. Will it be one of the best decks at Nationals? Well, I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? And, well, Wyatt had a pretty good deck, too, with Seismitoad, Malamar, Aromatisse. It's a very, very cool concept. So I hope you all enjoy. I am at Nationals right now, so vlogging the whole thing. So if you guys want to check out Pokemon.com's official Twitch, then there's a ton of awesome matches going on right there, right now, for you guys to watch. So thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.